I guess, if you want to. It's
For
you
the
on the
recording.
recording too. I also have to run out right at the end because I have to go get my shot. Yay. So anyway, yeah, not a lot of juice, and which is weird for me because I tend to always be working on something, have, a sense of this is what I'm doing, if not a sense of like I'm inspired and excited about that, right? Like, so that was a little strange. And I don't like that feeling of like I'm just not interested in anything. This blah blah blah. And so what happened was I noticed this quilt pattern that I had bought months ago, and I looked at it and I was like, there's a little spark. Like I want to make that. And I have other projects in the works, so it shouldn't be next. There are other things that should get finished. But I was just like, yeah, that's what I need to do. I just need to follow that. And it was great. So I, bought the fabric, and I just finished the quilt top this weekend, and it feels delightful. And it was just like this tiny little spark of something, something that was inspiring. And I know that so many times we can, feel a little spark like that and be then just push it aside, like, oh yeah, but I've got things to do for the kids, or there's not enough time, or there's like I really should finish these other projects first. But what we're doing is just pushing away inspiration. We're like pushing off little bits of delight and lightness that could come through. And this was a quick project, so it was nice to feel like, oh, I could just get it done. So I think of inspiration as like on this continuum. I heard this the other day. It was so interesting to me. On a continuum with like desperation, like we can be acting out of desperation, which is like from grasping and a sense of, being really diminished and scarcity, mired in that like a gripping kind of quality, like, and I have to do this thing. Or we can be acting out of this place of inspiration where like I'm just so inspired, I just want to do it. And it's so much more freeing, of course, to come from inspiration. And I wish I was totally in charge of being inspired all the time, but I'm not. But you can feel the difference of where you're acting from, right? Where you're living from, where you're practicing from. And so when we come on the yoga mat, I like to think of it as, it'd be great if I was super inspired to practice every single time. And a lot of times I feel that, but sometimes I don't. But it can still, I find like the yoga, it's like sweeping away the debris from the week, clearing out the mental clutter or the physical clutter in the body or something around the heart that's getting in the way, that's leading to feelings of lack that can lead towards desperation. And when we clear those out, we can start to step more towards inspiration. We can at least make the conditions right for inspiration to arise. I think of inspiration as the way that the goddess or your heart speaks to you, right? The way that she calls to you and says, hey, let's do this. And so when we have the chance to follow it and we practice bringing out more and more of it, we bring ourselves deeper into the heart of wisdom and of peace and of love and joy, all those things which are why we practice. So we'll play with that quality of inspiration, getting light and inspired as we possibly hover. Also, I'm noticing my microphone might die. So if I suddenly get quiet, just I will take it off, but it's good for starters. So start with a good seat. You can sit up tall and then just close your eyes to turn inwards. Let your sitting bones become heavier down. And then lift and lengthen through your spine. So if we think about inspiration, it has that quality of lifting up. Grounded in the sitting bones, but lifting, becoming lighter. Allow your torso to expand with your breath. And then hug the heads of your arm bones back, shoulder blades to the back of the heart. The heart's open, it's ready. You can feel your breath moving. And then bring your attention to your heart space and just tap in there, connect. And bring your palms together, join them in front of your heart. So we'll chant 3 rounds of Om to begin. And that Om it's like a call to inspiration. It's a call to life, right? It's a call out to the goddess, to your own heart. Saying, I'm ready. Let's see what happens. Welcome a full breath in. Gently bow head to heart space. Release your hands down onto your thighs. You can lift your head up. And let's start with just some cat and cow, getting onto the arms and the legs. Hands and knees. Oops, let me turn my light on. There we go. So bring the hands under the shoulders and claw the hands. Remember, we'll need that when we come to hand balance. So you just start turning the hands on right away. And with your toes curled under, inhale, lift your heart. Inspire, open up. And then exhale, dive back into your heart, which is the source. Inhale, heart forward, lift up, look up. And exhale, curl and round inwards. And then just go back and forth on your own breath. Allow yourself to open. Feel the energy of this new day, the springtime season. And when you draw in, it's not closing down. It's just remembering that we're sourced from the heart. Returning to the heart every opportunity as like an inner power system. Next time you exhale, come into a neutral spine. And then come back to downward facing dog. So you walk your knees back, lift your hips up. Stretch up and back, and then just feel for some inspiration within your body. Meaning, if you're inspired to move around a little bit, shift your body in some way, then do that. And if you're inspired to stay more still or quiet, then follow that. So many times we get clues from our bodies, clues from our hearts that say, go this way. And for whatever reason, we can't listen in that moment, or we don't. And so coming to yoga, it's like, oh, here's a chance where we can listen and play with that. Bring yourself back into neutral. And then as you inhale, inflate, particularly your kidney area, back body. Hover your armpits up and melt your upper back. Take your thighs back, reach your heels back and down. And inhale, come forward to plank pose. Exhale, lower slowly down through chaturanga to your belly. Take your hands back and curl up in in Shalabhasana, locust. Inhale to open. Exhale, lower and go back again to down dog. Just getting the body to start to awaken. So let's do that one more time in the same way. Inhale forward into plank, not a super long hover. We know we're going to be on the arms in a moment. And exhale, lower. Hands behind, interlace fingers. Lift your heart. Let the heart space open up, like opening windows to more conversation. Then exhale and lower. Hands under shoulders. Go back, downward facing dog. Excellent. Step your right foot forward between your hands into lunge. And squeeze the leg muscles firmly around the bones as you take a deep breath in. And as the leg muscles get more firm now, particularly firm your right buttock and push down, and then hover your right fingertips up off the mat. So one of the things we have to do to come to hand balance is get the legs really activated. So now with the hands off the mat, take them over to the right side a little bit, and through the center, and then over to the left. Good, and back through the center. We'll do it one more time, right? And center, and over to the left. Good. and center. Place your hands, step back, downward facing dog. And then switch sides. Step your left foot forward, come into lunge. Inhale to open to a bigger energy, to that inspired light energy that can just flow through the body. And then from the earth, draw up through both legs as the legs get firm, and particularly firm this left buttock and left outer hip in. And that's going to hold you steady as you now lift the fingertips up off the mat. Take fingers over to the left. Just really turning on the left glute and back to the center and to the right. And back through the center. And then over to the left again. And to the center. And over to the right. And back through the center. Place your hands down. Step back, downward facing dog. Firm the arms and inhale, come forward into plank. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. And then lower down, curl up into Cobra. Inhale, heart rises. Exhale, go back, downward facing dog. So press your hands down. Let's play with that hopping. I know we played with it like years ago, but I've been trying to play with it because I want to get better at it too. So press the hands down, the arms get really firm. And when you hop, think of your hips just going up, and you can take a couple of hops to get up the mat if you want. Hips way up over shoulders. Just like hop. I can't look and hop at the same time. Take a hop or two to come towards the top of the mat. And then stand in Uttanasana. Good. Inhale and reach your heart forward. Exhale and fold. And with a feeling of lightness, float your torso up, arms reach to the sky, rise all the way up, and then exhale. Bring your palms to your heart. Release your arms by your sides. Inhale, lift. Exhale and fold into Uttanasana. Inhale, heart forward. Step your left leg back, come into lunge again. Squeeze the legs and really squeeze the right glute, just like we did before. Put your right hand on your right thigh and twist to the right. Keep your left leg high. Then take right arm over your ear. So up and over. And again, the legs get really firm because we're going to need their strength to hold on to the arms. But then also with inspiration, sort of wrap the heart to the sky, look up under the arm. You lift yourself up and out of desperation towards inspiration. And then exhale, bring your right hand down on the inside of your right leg. Bring your back knee down. So come to lizard. So instead of going way off on the diagonal like we usually do, stay more straight ahead. You can take your right foot a little bit out to the right. It's a deep breath in. And either just stay upright here with the sense of lifting your ribs out of your hips, or bring your forearms down. And that might be kind of early in the class. Yeah, no, you're good. So one of the challenge for me is that my right knee, my right hip wants to release and right knee falls out to the right. So hug the right outer hip in so that the right knee keeps hugging your right rib cage, but doesn't go beyond the right ankle. One more breath, lengthen your spine. And then walk your hands back under you. We'll bring the left foot forward. So lift your back knee and step forward, standing forward bend. Inhale and extend your heart. Exhale, step your right leg back, come into lunge. Squeeze the leg muscles firmly around the bones. And then take your left hand to your left thigh and twist. Hug the midline. Yep, then take your left arm up and then up and over. You can always put your right knee down if you need to, but I figure we could try it this way. So one of the things that happens again is the left hip will swing out to the left to make this easier. Keep hugging the left hip in towards the right hip. And then with inspiration, fill your torso, lengthen it, and turn towards the sky. Look up under. Left arm, gorgeous. And
And exhaling, bring your left hand down. Walk your left foot just a little, like a foot width out to the left. Bring your right knee down. And we start here so that you can get really lined up. Take a breath, inner thighs back, scoop your tail under, then bring the forearms down if it's possible. I know it's early in the practice for this. And you might notice that the two sides are really different, or they might be very similar. There's nothing wrong with it either way, we're just noticing. And then again, hug the left outer hip and the left leg so that it comes towards the side of the rib cage. Now, it doesn't have to completely touch, but it's hugging towards. It's not widening and lost out to the side. That strength will be necessary later. Lift your lift your torso back up. Frame your front foot with your hand. Lift your back knee and step forward, just standing forward bend. Again. Inhale and stretch the heart out. Exhale and fold. Let's come all the way standing actually. Inhale, feet down, heart rises. Really lift up as if you're going to float away. And then bring your palms as you exhale to your heart. Release your hands, lift up. Exhale, float back down. Inhale, heart forward. Step back plank, chaturanga. So just a hover in plank, lower to chaturanga, and then inhale up, cobra. Head back, ears back, like you're listening for inspiration from around you. And then exhale, toes under, downward facing dog. So a little series of standing poses just so we get them out of the way easily. Take your, well, not easily necessarily, but in a shorter amount of time. Take your right leg high, keep your left arm firm, left outer hip firm. And let's bend the right knee, take it up and over to the left. And now keep the right knee bent, touch your right outer elbow. So shift forward to plank, right knee, right outer elbow. And send it all the way back to three-leg dog. Let's do that one more time. Bend the knee, take it up and over to the left, left arm firm. And then knee to the right outer elbow and hover, hover, hover. Really make connection. Then stretch back, three-leg dog, inhale. Step forward into lunge, exhale. Bring your back heel down, Parshvakonasana. Right forearm to your right thigh or right hand on the floor and open up facing the long edge of the mat. Take a breath, welcome yourself here. Welcome an inner lightness that comes with the springtime. And then charge up the legs, squeeze the muscles steady. Inner thighs back, tail under. Really, again, hug the right buttock in or sort of forward towards the pelvis. Then lengthening through your spine, get longer. Grow yourself out. Take your arm over, Parshvakonasana. One of the challenges, I think, of having a continuous, ongoing yoga practice is staying inspired. Because we can do the same things. I mean, how many times do we do this pose? It's just so useful. That's why we do it. But how do we stay inspired? Well, we keep making the conditions and we keep meeting it just as it is with as much presence and attention as we can possibly bring. So now bring your hand to your hip. We're going to triangle pose. You can sneak your right hand behind and slowly stretch the right leg. Yep, certainly grab a block if needed. So one of the things that can inspire is having deep curiosity. Pull up in the left leg, really press the left pinky toe down as the left inner thigh goes back. And then expand out. As you root down, as we'll root down with the hands in a moment, rise upwards and outwards, like a breath is flowing through you and out. From triangle pose, half moon. You can bend your right knee, take your block if you'd like, and step up. Make the firmness from the earth come all the way up your leg into your pelvis. Left leg is firm and high. You take the arm up as you're ready. And then your shoulders go back. Really guide both shoulders back, but the top one. And that helps the head. Yeah, that's awesome. Line up even more. You stretch. Reach. It's not just that I create this shape. I create it and it grows. Exhale. Bend your right knee, bring your left hand to the mat, turn your hips to face the floor, and then step your left leg back to Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose, last standing pose in this part of the series. So again, the legs scissor to the midline and draw from the feet, into the core. And there's always that tendency for the right hip to swing right and forward. So press the outer right hip in, draw the right hip crease back, then bow. We go into the quiet but very strong sensation in the inner thigh, in the outer thigh, in the outer hip, in the back of the leg. Inspired to make space. Inspired to create opening where there is contraction. Freedom where there is boundary or stuckness. Then bend your stretch your heart forward, bend your right knee, step back with the left, and you can choose to vinyasa or go to down dog right away. Be with your breath. So second side of that series, inhale your left leg high, right arm firm, take your right leg over to the left, and then left knee to your left outer elbow and hover in that plank position, or just turning on the core. Good, stretch back up straight, three-leg dog. And again, bend the left leg, take the left leg towards the right. And then knee towards the outer elbow, hover up. Good, stretch back, three-leg dog. And step forward for lunge, Parsvottanasana. Welcome your breath. Once you've set yourself, you just soften for a moment to just see and feel what the heart has to offer. With your breath, expand your torso so it's bigger and fuller. And then squeeze up through the legs to the core. Mind's eye back to the back pinky toe. Reach it back and lift your right inner thigh as you scoop your left seat under more. Then arm over if you haven't already. Parsva. Feel how the muscles and the bones work together to create support for you to then open, to expand yourself, to listen for inspiration and support. Good. Bring your right hand to your hip, take your left hand to the floor for triangle pose. So slowly stretch the front leg, left leg. From the floor, draw to the core. So from the outer edges, pull into your pelvis, thighs back, tail in, and take your top arm up, expand. As you root yourself into the floor, you'll find your body can correspondingly rise. Back out into the lightness and inspiration of spring, like a flower blooming. Take your top hand to your hip, look down, half moon. So step your back foot in. We do these poses as like prep to open, to strengthen, to warm. Really good. Pull up from the floor to your pelvis. That's going to help. Hug left outer hip back and under. And then top arm goes up. Take the shoulders back. Nice. Root down through the legs to let yourself fly a little bit lighter, a little more. And then exhale, bring your fingertips to the floor, turn your hips to face the floor, bend your left knee, and step your right foot back to Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. Take a breath. You can walk your hands back, reach your ribs out. Yep, so there's the tendency for the left hip to swing forward and down. So hug the left hip in towards the middle, lift it up. So the weight really is on both feet pretty evenly. It's not rolling off the left big toe. So press the left big toe ball mound down. Then lengthen and bow if you haven't already. Let your face be soft, even as your legs do a fair amount of work here. They're engaging, holding you. One of the things that can take us out of desperation is a strong feeling of embodied strength, embodied power. When we have that, there's the capacity to feel like, oh, I could do something here. I'm not just stuck. Don't have to be mired in scarcity or grasping at things I can't control. What can I do? And the strength is so useful, and it comes when we do these poses, we hold ourselves, we can build that kind of embodied power. Inhale and reach your heart out. Again, choice to vinyasa or to go to down dog or even go to child's pose. Excellent. All right, so now slowly, let's see. I like doing, let's do this from the back, more like the back of the mat. You know, what we did on Sunday was like walking the hands back to come into Malasana. So I'm gonna place a blanket under my feet because that's what I need for Malasana. If you need it, I also recommend that you place a blanket under your feet for Malasana, which is that squat. If you don't do it. Excellent. Yeah. So now with the heels pressed down, hug the outer legs on the upper arms and have the upper arms press back out. Lift your heart up. Just a breath here. Oh, my knee did not like that. And let's go forward right into Bakasana. So hugging the arms even deeper in, the legs even further up, then lift up. And Bakasana is one of those airplane poses. You shift forward into it. Yep. Rather than trying to just hover up. Yeah, exactly. So you lean out into the pose as it's available. Yeah, and of course you can put your block under you if you need it. And bringing the feet together like you just did is very useful. Finding that these pants were not the best choice for this practice. And then if you are inspired, you can try jumping to Chaturanga. That's not something I can do yet, so I can't really tell you how. I know, I'm like, I don't even, that doesn't make sense to me. But some people do it. I know that it's possible. Okay, so let's take pigeon. Bring your right foot forward. Right foot towards the left and it opens up and you just come to pigeon. Just a little tip for the hip before we take a couple other options on hand balance. One breath and then bow forward. Same thing, do your best to level off your hips so you're not leaning, particularly tend to lean towards the right hip. So feel in the right front hip crease that there's some space, that there's some length. Breathe and allow for some strength and opening to happen at the same time. Let your face be softer if it's tending to contract. And then walk your hands back, go to down dog. Just move the right leg around a little. And switch, sidestep your left foot forward between the hands. Walk left foot over towards the right side, open your left knee, lower your right, and come to pigeon. Couple of breaths. Squeeze the legs, roll the left inner thigh left. Nope, right inner thigh to the right. Left hip crease back, and then left buttock pushes down. And then remember, inspiration has the quality of expansion. Try like lengthening. Soften between your shoulder blades. Slowly walk yourself back. Come again to downward facing dog. Just reaching back with the hips. So now we'll do a little more prep to get ready. So take your right foot forward and a little over to the right and walk. Let's bring the back knee down. Walk your left hand on the your right hand on the inside again. Good grief. Scissor the legs. So the power of the legs is what's going to help in a moment. And then lengthen through your torso, but bow. And you take your right hand underneath the left again. Golly, my brain is not wanting to function. Yeah, right shoulder under. Right hand can go out to the right if you'd like. I've been finding I like to be on the left elbow and the right hand. So you're just working towards there. Now, but then create some power. So pull your right calf onto your right arm. Scoop your tail under. And really make like a clamp with your right leg. Yeah. We don't have to lift up just yet. I mean, you could if you want to lift the leg, but it's just like a clamp. We want to find that power. Now releasing that, unfurl. And walk your hips back, stretch your front leg. We're coming to runner lunge. And we're going to slightly make it wonky. So actually lunge forward again. How do I want to do this? Let's take the right foot off the mat to the right. Not all the way out to the side, but a little out to the side. And then bring both hands on the inside. And now pull the hips back. So I'd say I'm at about a 45-degree angle. Maybe not even that. I'm at like 130 with my leg. Yeah. Torso still comes forward and pull the toes up. If you want, you can see if the forearms will come down. That's brand new. I've never tried that before. That's interesting. Really getting the inner leg. Not necessary, but a possibility. Oof. And then come back up. Lunge again, walk your right foot back in, and coming to a real lunge, take your right hand back for your left foot for Kali's lunge. So this engaged quad stretch. And again, the option is always to put your forearm down or to stay more upright. Squeeze through both buttocks so the outer hips hug in. Still making that clamping kind of action with the top leg, with the right leg. Turn your heart open. And exhale, release and step back to down dog. We'll take the second side of that as well. Take your left leg forward, lunge, and coming back knee down, coming to lizard lunge. So hand on the inside. Take a breath, lengthen, and then come on down with your left hand coming under the left leg and out to the left. And it's one thing just to be able to get yourself into the shape. The other is to start to empower the shape. So scissor or pull the left calf onto the left arm. There is an active quality, even though my foot is still on the floor, there's this active quality. And see if you can soften your upper back even more. Hug the hips in. And you feel the power in the leg, and it actually feels, lighter and maybe more possible to lift it in a moment. Now, release the scissor of the leg, take your hand out. When you come up, walk your left foot over on that diagonal. So it's about, 10:45, 11 o'clock, 10:45 probably. And then pull hips up and pull them back. So you're coming to, it's kind of like a runner lunge, just like a funky runner lunge. Push the left heel down and isometrically hug in. And then possibly bring your forearms onto the mat. Your thighs are back, tailbone scoops under. My back rounds to be able to get my forearms down, because it's a kind of a short, funky position, but still extend your spine as is available. Really an interesting angle. We don't get into this angle very often in practice, and I can totally notice the difference. And that's one of the ways we can keep inspiration going, is trying little new things, even if they're not hugely new. A little bit new, a little bit different, and feeling how the body responds. All right, yeah, come on back up. Walk your left foot back in and come to Kali's lunge. So right leg, right hand to right foot, good. Left outer hip hugs in for support. Shoulders back. And you can bring your forearm down and open. Oh my gosh, that is intense. Good, release. Step back again to downward facing dog, just to kind of go back to a neutral setting. And then come on down and take a seat. You can have your blocks if you want them for your hand balance. Yeah, we'll do this one. So legs come out, hands are here. We're gonna do a couple of those hover up arm balances instead of shift forward arm balances. We might just have an arm balance party for the rest of the class since I see who is here. All right, so let's take the right leg up into that same lizard lunge position. So it's the, my foot is itchy. Your right arm's coming under and the leg is clamping on. So I'm using the left arm to help get it up there, and then leg is clamping like mad onto the right arm. You can do the little rocks that we do sometimes, or I know you've got more capacity than some folks. So as you're ready, drawing into the core, you press down to lift up and up you go. Yep, good. Make the feet really active. Clamp this leg on the arm and push it forward. Yeah, that's awesome. Good, and then you can come back down. Whew. I know, it's okay. All right, let's try the second side of that. I did some arm balancing yesterday too, so I'm tired. They're gonna be able to find my muscle when I take my shot. All right, so same thing, you can start with creeping it in and out in this way, and then left arm goes under, and that clamping action makes a big difference. So the leg is part of the pose here. Hands go under the block, As you're ready, clamp down. I like to lean forward, send the butt back, and then swoop up. Yeah, good. Really activate your leg that just came off, the right leg. And then with the left leg clamping on the arm, push forward and can feel how that ignites the core. That's amazing to me. All right, I'm done. Oh, I'm ready for a nap. So I took a practice the other day that was super fun, and it had a variation on this one, which I will show you. So we're going to do this one more time, and you can either try the variation or not. And I was mildly successful, so, you know, we'll take it with a grain of salt. But the leg, I'm going to turn slightly sideways so you can see. So I will turn fully sideways and try it with the blocks this time. So instead of having the leg up and over the arm in this way, the leg was down. And then you lift up and reach forward. So you're getting your torso in that same position. And then the hands can go, I haven't really tried this on the block, but it's here. So the leg is like pushed up against the arm and we're here. I don't think the blocks work. Let me see if I can do it without. And that's the idea. You're just sort of lifting up. Yeah, there, in that position. It's a challenge, but it's kind of fun. Like, and the shin, you know, the shin's got that bone that'll just come right into your arm. Yeah, so if you want a sock or something, if you have one, that could work too. But it's kind of worth playing with. So let's take, again, the left leg forward, bend your right knee back. So left leg is straight, right leg bends back. If you're going to try this one, so I just lean to the left to make a lot of room and then swoop out forward. Yeah, so you can get in that form. And then this arm comes around, pushes down. And as you're ready, you're going to push the leg into the arm into the leg, and it's a little lift. Oh, I can't hold it very long. Yeah. It's tricky. And yeah, that part is just not comfortable. Yeah, that could be helpful. A little t-shirt or sock or something. I'm getting that, also that kind of gripping in the front of the other leg. So I'm just gonna remind it to chill out. That's a good idea. Yeah, so my hands, I'm also thinking, you don't have to get your hand way back behind you because then you can't quite lift up. I think my hand's about in line with my foot is probably a good spot. But you can see how that goes for you. Yeah, it's not easy. It's that lean forward, push the calf into the leg, into the arm. Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's something. All right, let's try the second side of that one. So I know the arm-leg connection is not the best. So you bend the left leg, lean a little right, reach way forward, twist my back. Oh, that's better. Yeah, and then, yeah, I think my hand's about in line with my foot. It is about in line with my foot. It doesn't need to be any further. And you push down, squeeze up. There's no better way to explain it. I don't know. Oof, that's a tough one. Good, yeah, I know. It's just interesting. It's like, oh, there's something a little bit different. So now you can release the shirt and the blocks for a sec. We'll come to Navasana, boat pose. Get my pants situated. So just a little tip back. And as you're ready, arms can come up, legs can come up. Already doing plenty of core by doing the hand balances, but, you know, adding it on, helping it be a part of this process. Squeeze the legs in, squeeze even the glutes underneath, torso long. Good, and then exhale and release and just take a long stretch up. So this time we'll take the like seated Astavakrasana, which is like Navasana, like what we've just done, but adding Astavakrasana to it. So you'll take, your right arm's gonna come through and we're gonna turn in this direction. And
the left leg crosses over the right ankle. So we're still here, we're still just doing Navasana, but there's added components. So you just start by tipping back and the legs come up, and then there's a twist to it. So the right arm comes under the left leg to twist. Left leg crosses over, and then just squeeze the arm and see if you can turn towards the left side. Yeah, so really have the sense that the knees try to squish the arm. Squish, 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 squish. And the ankles wrap strongly. Good, and then you can come back out. I feel like that's so much more doable than the pose. Of course, the leg's not over the shoulder. I'm just turning so I can see you. We'll try the other side. Whew. So again, you tip back. Left arm comes under and through. Left foot crosses over. Is that what I did before? Right foot makes more sense to me. Yeah. And you're twisting now to the right. The torsos twist, knees squeeze the arm. The power of the knees squeezing the arm can sometimes be enough to get people up into the pose. And if you want, you can straighten the legs. I know we didn't do that on the first side, but that's kind of fun too. Yeah. I know it's hard. Woo. Good, and release. And untwist. Now we can just take a nap. It's hard work for me. Okay. Asta Vakrasana. I like it on blocks. You can do blocks if you want. You don't have to. And I know you have the capacity to go out into the Kundanyasana. Go for it. Take the plunge. That's awesome. All right, so we'll think about, remember when we were in Bhujangasana with the arm over the shoulder and we push the leg forward. That quality of pushing forward really gives some power to the core and some lift. So once we get up there, you can play with that idea, see what's possible. I don't know what will be possible, but we can try it. Okay, so we start the legs forward. Right leg comes back. Yeah, and if you need to adjust on your mat to make room for your legs to come out, you can sort of adjust. And so then the right leg is going to come up and over as much as is available and clamp down, and right hand on the block. Now you can start without even lifting up, just taking the left leg up, cross the left leg, ankle over, and then start with lean forward and squeeze. Yeah, go for it. You do not need to wait for me. Oh yeah, the furniture. Yeah, keep squeezing the knees onto each other. And remember, the legs don't have to be like perfectly out to the side. They can be on a diagonal. It looked good. It looked successful. All right, good. Okay, so let's try the other side of that bad boy. 8 crooked limbed pose. Yep. Vakrukti. It's like saying like we're all crooked and wackadoodle, but we still can be powerfully amazing. Yep, you can even sort of swing the feet out to the left as you go and then stretch, squeezing the legs, hover down. Whew. Good, keep squeezing the legs. Yep, and then back when you're ready. That's awesome. Oh. All right, do you want to try Asta Vakrasana one more time to each side? Or are you good? You're good? Okay, we'll leave it. Yeah, okay, so we can take the props away. I think it's like good practice to sometimes do these times where it's like, we just do a bunch of them. you know, and get them into the body in some way. And I have been so afraid of them over the years that I'm like, yeah, I just got to do it. And if it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, great. Still learn. Okay, so let's take a wide seat, Upavishta Konasana, facing the wide edge of the mat. We might finish just a minute early so I can run off to my shot. I think this will work out perfectly. Take the legs out wide, yep, and you can sit up on the blanket. And as you come to the wide seat, once you're there, really let your sitting bones settle and then do lift your torso up out of the hips. So there can be a feeling of, you know, we did all of that kind of contractive, heavy work to be in the pose a moment ago. And now we just lift back up, feeling ground, but feeling light. So cool to be able to do these fun things. Now turn and face over your right leg. Take a breath and come forward. And again, you can use the strap or use your hand towards your right foot. Welcome your breath. Keeping the legs steady and firm. Have a fullness with your breath in your torso. So the torso then starts to be able to lengthen to descend over the leg. Inhale, lengthen your torso, slowly come back up, turn towards the center. And switch, turn towards the left, big breath in, and exhale to fold. Right hand or the strap can come to your right as your left foot. And as the legs anchor, reach your left sitting bone towards the floor. Allow the torso to be light and extend with that quality of lightness. Soften in the upper back. Inhale and slowly come up again and turn to face the center and we'll go forward. So pushing the heels down, hug them towards each other and exhale, walk forward. Yeah, good. Excellent, good. So as the heels hug in, press the tops of both thighs back behind you. And with your breath, allow your upper back to melt inwards. Yeah, good. As the upper back melts, the heart becomes both supported, like held by the loving embrace of the shoulder blades. And in the front, it just softens, it just opens. So we clear the pathways to the heart so that we can listen, so that inspiration can arise and it's not blocked along the way. We connect to it right away. Inhale, walk your hands back, slowly rise back up. Let's take a very simple twist. Just bring the legs in, cross the right shin in front of the left. Inhale, left arm up, and then left hand to the right knee and twist. Let your chin stay parallel to the floor. Yeah, you look good. Hips are level. Inhale your right arm up and lean your left shoulder towards your left knee. You lengthen out on the diagonal. Yep, so it's twisted still and extending. Then bring your right hand to your left knee and curl back like you're doing cat tilt. The head can come in. Then bring both hands, right hand, right knee, left hand, left knee. Inhale, lift your heart, look all the way up. And exhale to come back to neutral. And then switch the cross of your legs. We'll do the other side of that little series, just unwinding the spine. Inhale, right arm up. And bring your right hand to your left knee. Take your left hand behind and exhale to twist. So feel that your spine is, has the natural curve. The low back is in and up. And then it's twisting lightly over top, but we never need to force the twist. Just let it turn, even all the way up to your head looking over your left shoulder. Inhale your left arm up. And exhale, tip over, left shoulder towards left knee, towards right knee. Sorry, right shoulder towards right knee. Notice if there's a pulling back into the hips, or can you still lengthen your torso as if something's inspiring you and calling you off to this right side. And then hand to the knee, draw your head in, curl back, really pull back from the knees for a moment like a cat tilt. And then right hand, right knee, left hand, left knee. Inhale, lift your heart, arch up just a little bit. It's a baby back bend with the hands on the knees. And then exhale to bring yourself back to center. So a little unwinding of the spine. Come now onto your back. You can have your strap close. Start with the quads, bend both knees, feet to the outer edges of the mat. And take the knees out, instead of having them drawing in, take them out a little wide, more towards in line with the ankles, and then drop both knees over to the right. Move my little thing. Flex your feet. Arms can be in a cactus or a T, and you have the choice. You can put your right heel or right outer ankle on your left outer thigh, or just keep your foot on the floor. So if it strains your knee or your back, keep your foot on the floor or anywhere else for that matter. And as the hips and the knees turn to the right, turn the ribs back to the left. Allow your left shoulder to soften down. So we're clearing out any pathways that have become congested around the quads, around the hips, around the heart, so that whatever inspiration is lying in wait for you can start to spring forward. And if your foot is on your leg, release it and inhale both knees into the center. If your feet have come in, make them as wide as the mat, knees wide, and then take both legs over to the left. On the outer edge of the right foot, the inner edge of the right foot, the outer edge of the left. And optional to place your left outer ankle on your right outer thigh. As the hips and legs turn left, draw your ribs to the right, right shoulder down. And receive the breath. Let the breath move in and help to clear away any debris that's being loosened up. So it just shifts and moves out of the body. Next, inhale, bring both legs back up into the center. Yeah, you can release your leg to the floor, and let's take the strap just for last little bit here. Right leg goes up into the strap. I've just been playing with having it at the
the cup of the heel and the arch, where the heel and arch meet, that has felt really good to me lately. And try that, or go to the ball of the foot. Allow the thigh bone to rest down into your hip, and then take your left leg out. Spread your toes. Feel your inhale. Your inhale goes with inspiration. Exhale to let go. Whatever's expired, what's not needed. And take the strap just in your left hand. Guide your right foot to the left a few inches. Take your right thumb and hook it in your hip crease. And guide your hip crease towards the front of the mat. Our hips get really tight. This outer line of the leg can get extremely tight if we sit, if we run, pretty much if we live. So it's always useful to come back to this part. Going from contracted to free. Inhale your leg back up and slowly release it out from the strap. Just place your right leg beside your left on the floor for a moment and feel the two sides. And then switch. I like starting with the right leg bent for a sec. Take the left leg up and really you can again play with that positioning of the strap. And before you try to go really deep, just allow the left thigh bone to sink towards the floor, so deep in the hip socket. Then stretch your right leg out if you haven't, and just be in this Supta Hasta Padangusthasana position. Take the strap just in your right hand, bring it over, left leg to the right. Again, you can hook your thumb in your outer left hip and guide it down towards the right foot. And again, send the inspiration of the breath into the body, into those places that are stuck. There's so much intelligence in the breath. It can help create freedom where there's not freedom in this moment. And then inhaling, bring to the last second. Okay, that's good. All right, so now just time to head for Shavasana. So take a minute, just curl into a ball. Once that feels like it's done, you can stretch your legs out, come out to Shavasana. Let the body get so comfortable, so at ease. And as it does, release any more gripping or grasping or pulling or even that scarcity. Feel how there's more space now in the body. More space for the breath.
more space in the mind and the heart, even. And that's the space where inspiration can flow. Not like you're trying to make it happen. In Shavasana now, it's just rest. Give yourself, allow yourself this time to rest in the quiet. Cultivated the quiet interior space through the whole practice. Now drop yourself down into it and become nourished and supported in Shavasana. Welcome your breath. And as you exhale, release anything else, whatever can let go, so that you can be light and free. And then gently begin to stretch and move. Just awakening now. Awakening with a sense of openness to what will come. Excuse me. As you're ready, bend your knees. Curl onto your right side. Pause. And slowly press back up to seated. Close your eyes, sit up well. When we practice, we have this opportunity to clear the way, clear the pathways around the heart, clear the cobwebs of the mind, even clear the debris and constrictions in the body so that we can be more open, more available, more ready for that moment when inspiration may arise. And may we choose deeply to follow it. Because inspiration is the call of the heart, the call of the goddess to what is most fulfilling, useful, strengthening for us. Bring your palms up in front of your heart. Take a moment to offer gratitude for this practice with the chant of Om together. Welcome your in-breath. Namaste. All right. Thank you. It was really fun.